One dirty move. That's all it takes to lose a championship, almost end someone's life, or even drag things into court for millions in damages. And when it comes to pushing that line, Michael Schumacher wasn't just legendary. He was controversial too.
As they come up now towards the corner, that is a lot better. He's trying to on the inside, Schumacher's almost put him in the wall. Schumacher almost put him in the wall there.
That's naughty from Michael. Rubens will be livid with that.
For all his greatness, he built a reputation for moves that had people questioning if winning meant more than anything else. Even in 2010, after already retiring once, he came back and proved he still had that same edge. And not always in a good way. Chapter 2. Schumacher versus Barrichello. Inches from disaster. His victim this time, his own former Ferrari teammate, Rubens Barrichello. Barrichello was flying on fresh tires, closing in fast down the straight, and it looked like a clean overtake was coming. But Schumacher had other plans. As Barrichello pulls alongside, Schumacher moves across, hard, forcing him closer and closer to the wall at nearly 300 kilometers per hour. Commentators couldn't believe it. Schumacher almost put him in the wall there. That was horrible. And they weren't wrong. Barrichello somehow keeps it together. And honestly, the courage it took to stay flat there is insane. The steward stepped in with a 10-place grid penalty. Barrichello called it a go-kart maneuver. But Schumacher, he didn't care. That's the problem people had with him. Knowing when to stop just wasn't part of the plan. Now we move to 2007, and this wasn't just dirty. This was pure internal chaos. McLaren thought they had the perfect setup. Reigning champion Fernando Alonso paired with a young rookie. That rookie? Lewis Hamilton. And instead of a dream team, it turned into a nightmare. All season long, they were neck and neck, fighting each other harder than anyone else on the grid. Alonso quickly realized something. The team wasn't fully behind him anymore. McLaren wanted a British champion in a British car, and suddenly Hamilton wasn't just a teammate, he was the priority. Hamilton even said it himself. You learn who you can trust, who you can't. That says everything.
Sort of learn what can happen in motorsport, who you can trust.
And then came Hungary, where everything exploded. Going into qualifying, only 2 points separated them. This was massive. Hamilton sets a provisional pole lap, both drivers dive into the pits, and Alonso comes in first with Hamilton right behind him. The team gives Alonso the green light to go, but he doesn't move. He just sits there. Commentators catch it instantly. Is he blocking Hamilton here? And yeah, he absolutely was.
There's Lewis Hamilton queuing up behind him, and have they raised the lollipop to let Alonso out? Yep, they want him out of there. Now Alonso's not getting on with it. Only a minute and 40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here? Is that a bit of a tactic within the team there to give Hamilton a bit of a headache? I think it might well be. That's really up to you now.
That was a little bit naughty, I think.
Alonso knew exactly what he was doing. Hold Hamilton just long enough and he wouldn't get another lap. And it worked! Checkered flag, and Hamilton's missed it by 4 seconds. Just like that, Alonso steals pole. But the moment doesn't last. The stewards step in, strip Alonso of pole, drop him to P6, and McLaren loses all constructor points for the race. That little smirk Alonso had, gone real quick. And the crazy part? If he had just played it clean, he might have won the championship that year. Now this is where things get truly wild. Final race of the season, Schumacher versus Damon Hill, separated by just 1 point. Winner takes all. No excuses. Schumacher leads early, and all he has to do is survive. That's it. But then lap 36 happens.
That looks Schumacher's off. Time. Hill goes by.
Oh, out goes Schumacher. The German is out.
That is a fundamental mistake, I believe, from Michael Schumacher.
He makes a mistake, hits the wall, and suddenly Hill is right there. And instead of accepting it, Schumacher goes for it. He turns into Hill, smashing into him deliberately in a desperate move to take him out. Commentators called it exactly what it was. That was a desperate maneuver by Schumacher. Hill's car is damaged beyond repair. Race over. And Schumacher also out, meaning he wins the championship. And here's the crazy part. No penalty. Nothing. Everyone knew what happened, everyone saw it, and he got away with it. That moment right there, that's when the world realized just how far Schumacher was willing to go to win. Fast forward to 2021, and history starts repeating itself in a new way. Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen. 2 drivers, 1 title, 0 room for mistakes. Silverstone, Hamilton's home race, and you can feel the tension before the lights even go out. When the race starts, it's pure aggression. Wheel to wheel, pushing each other to the absolute limit. For the first 40 seconds, it's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Then Hamilton sees a gap and goes for it. Contact. And that's a big crash. Verstappen is sent flying into the barriers. Race over for him. Hamilton keeps going, and you can already feel the controversy building.
Verstappen is out of the race, and that's a big crash! Hamilton continues on!
Max Verstappen wasn't backing down. Not even a little. He tried to shut the door on Hamilton before the move was even complete, but it all went wrong, sending that Red Bull flying into the barriers at nearly 290 kilometers per hour with a brutal 51G impact. Max walked away, but the damage was done. That moment, that wasn't just a crash, that was the start of a war. People instantly picked sides. Arguments exploded everywhere, and even in the paddock you could hear it. That's an enormous accident, and it was 100% Max's corner. Full blame lays on Hamilton. The tension through the roof. Hamilton took a 10-second penalty and still came back to win the race. 25 points to Lewis, 0 for Max, and just like that, the entire championship flipped on its head. Fast forward 4 races. Monza. Now the gap is only 5 points. 1 mistake, and everything changes. Red Bull fumbles a slow pit stop, and suddenly Hamilton has the advantage. This is his moment. They come out side by side, wheel to wheel into the chicane. And then, boom!
Chicane, it's wheel to wheel! Verstappen and Hamilton have crashed out, and they are both out!
A very big accident. Hope Hamilton's okay.
They've crashed out and they are both out. Both championship contenders gone in an instant. Max refuses to give space, hits the sausage curb, gets launched into the air, and lands directly on top of Hamilton's car. Not just on the car, on his head. That's not racing anymore. That's a straight up game of chicken, and neither of them was willing to lose. And let's be real, without the halo, Lewis doesn't walk away from that one. Now we head to Saudi Arabia, and this is where everything boils over. 8 points between them, title on the line, pressure at its absolute peak. Hamilton had already pulled off insane drives that season, even coming from last to first in Brazil. Momentum was fully on his side. Lap 37, they go wheel to wheel again. Max goes in deep, forces Lewis wide, clearly over the limit, and Mercedes are not happy. You hear it instantly over the radio. That is pretty crazy. And yeah, that's putting it lightly. The FIA steps in and tells Max to give the position back. But instead of doing it clean, he brake tests Hamilton. Just brake testing me. That's what Lewis said, and honestly, that's exactly what it looked like. That move right there, pure chaos, pure frustration. And instead of playing it smart and staying in the fight, Max hands momentum right back to Hamilton. After all that chaos, Mercedes locks in their 8th Constructors' title in a row. But the Driver Championship? That story wasn't over yet. The final race. One of the most controversial, insane endings in F1 history. And yeah, spoiler alert, Max Verstappen walks away as world champion.
Verstappen is champion of the world! Oh my God!
But everything that led up to that, it's what made this season unforgettable. Now here's where things get scary, because we've seen this before. 1997, Schumacher versus Jacques Villeneuve, separated by just 1 point going into the final race. Sound familiar? Yeah. Same pressure, same stakes. Race day comes, Schumacher leads most of the race, everything under control, until it isn't. Car slows down, Villeneuve catches up, and suddenly the pressure is back. And just like before, Schumacher makes his move. He turns into Villeneuve, trying to take him out just like he did years earlier. But this time, it doesn't work. The Ferrari ends up stuck in the gravel, Villeneuve keeps going, and just like that, championship gone. Commentators didn't hold back. That didn't work. You hit the wrong part of him, my friend. That line says everything.
Schumacher's very slow. I wonder if he's got something like a slow puncture. Villeneuve is all over him, look. He's going through. Oh, yes. I don't think.
Out goes Michael Schumacher!
That didn't work. That didn't work, Michael. You hit the wrong part of him, my friend. I don't think that will cause Villeneuve a problem.
And this time, Schumacher didn't get away with it. The FIA saw everything and made history. He wasn't just penalized, he was disqualified from the entire championship. That had never happened before and hasn't happened since. Even Schumacher admitted it later. I didn't want to admit at the time, but now I understand what I did. That moment, it exposed everything. The desperation, the mindset, the willingness to do whatever it takes to win. Now we move to Red Bull, and trust me, this one's messy too. Sebastian Vettel versus Mark Webber, teammates, but definitely not friends. Their rivalry had been building for years. Crashes, tension, arguments, it was always there. But Spain 2013, that's when it exploded. Red Bull gives a clear team order, multi-map 21. Basically, hold positions, bring it home, don't fight. Simple, right? Yeah, not for Vettel. With just a few laps to go, he ignores the order completely and goes for the overtake. It's wheel to wheel again. Chaos inside the same team. Webber tries to fight back. Vettel goes around the outside like it's the last lap of a championship. And you can hear it. This is silly. Come on. Even the commentators knew this was unnecessary. But Vettel didn't care. He wanted that win no matter what. Multi-21. Simple order, simple mission. Hold positions and bring it home. But Sebastian Vettel, he wasn't built like that. He ignored the order completely, went wheel to wheel with his own teammate, and took the win like nothing happened. You could hear the tension instantly. Multi-21, yeah, multi-21. Webber was furious, and rightfully so. Vettel later said, "I don't apologize for winning." And that right there tells you everything. For him, winning came first, no matter who got burned along the way. That moment didn't just win him a race, it destroyed any chance of peace between those two. Chapter 15, Senna versus Prost, revenge at 300 kilometers per hour. Now we go back to 1990, and this one, pure revenge. Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost. Already bad blood from the year before, where Prost took the title after a controversial crash. Senna never forgot that. Coming into Suzuka, he's on pole, but on the dirty side of the track. He even tried to get the FIA to swap positions. They said no. And from that moment, you could feel something was coming. I can't stand this. It's a joke. That's how angry he was. Lights out. Prost gets the better start, takes the lead, and Senna, he doesn't back off. They go into turn one, and boom! Straight into each other, both out instantly. Senna later played it calm. We touched in the first corner when we were fighting for the lead. But Prost didn't hold back at all. He did it 100% deliberately. And honestly, everyone knew. That wasn't just racing, that was calculated revenge at full speed. Chapter 16, Schumacher 2006, Monaco manipulation. You'd think after everything, Schumacher would have learned. Yeah, no. Monaco 2006, the one track where qualifying means everything. Schumacher grabs provisional pole, but there's still time left for others to beat him. And he knows it. So what does he do? He locks up, goes straight at Resquez, and parks the car right in the worst possible spot. Yellow flags come out. Nobody can finish their laps. And just like that, pole secured. Except everyone saw through it. The stewards investigated and hit him hard. Sent him straight to the back of the grid. They literally said it. The driver deliberately stopped his car on the circuit. And Schumacher? I pushed hard, locked up, ran out of road. Yeah, sure. That move cost him more than just respect. He ended up losing the championship that year to Alonso. Sometimes the dirty play backfires. And this was one of those times. Chapter 17, Crashgate, the most disgusting move ever. Now this might be the worst of them all. Singapore 2008, first ever night race, and Renault needed something special. Fernando Alonso starts P15, nowhere near winning, so they gamble, pit him early, fill him with fuel, drop him to last, and then 2 laps later, boom! Nelson Piquet Jr. crashes hard into the wall. Sorry guys, that's all he says. Safety car comes out, and here's where it gets dirty. Back then, pit lane closed during safety car, so everyone else is stuck or takes penalties. Meanwhile, Alonso, already fueled up, just cruises past the chaos and jumps up the order. And that doesn't look suspicious at all. Yeah, because it wasn't just luck. A year later, the truth comes out. Piquet Jr. reveals he was ordered to crash by team boss Flavio Briatore and engineer Pat Simons. Not just crash, but crash at a specific corner at a specific time to guarantee a safety car. That's not racing anymore. That's manipulation. The FIA confirmed it. Renault guilty. Briatore banned, Simons banned, team suspended. And the worst part? Felipe Massa, who was leading that race, lost everything because of it. And he ended up losing the championship by 1 point that year. To this day, that moment is still being fought in court. Final CTA, smooth integration. Looking back at all these moments, it really makes you question where the line is between racing hard and straight up dirty play. Some of these moves won championships, others destroyed careers, and a few nearly cost lives. So now I'm curious, which one do you think was the dirtiest move in F1 history? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoyed breaking all this down, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Because trust me, there's a lot more madness in this sport we haven't even touched yet.